Welcome back. Welcome back. Hope you guys are doing well. Just give me 1 second as I do a real quick sound check. All right, sounds good. Welcome, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. All right, so doing things a little differently today. Um, Scheduling a broadcast for a certain time. I don't know. Anyways, it looks like I'm live on Twitter, but um, yeah, welcome back, guys. Sorry it's been a while. It's been about a week or so since I posted my last video, and I'm glad to be back. And so I hope you enjoyed your little vacation, your spring break, or whatever you had going on. Hope you celebrated the resurrection of our Jesus Christ, our Savior, Redeemer. Just so you know, first and foremost, Jesus Christ is the way to our Heavenly Father and the way to salvation. So praise the Lord for Him. Thank God for His sacrifice that He had given us that we may receive salvation. My name is David Minnie. This is the Samoan Watchman Channel. Welcome back, you guys. I'm glad to be here. I'm excited. Had a lot going on. Took some time off to spend with the family, cleaned up a little bit, and had a couple of events. Went to the beach with my kids, uh, with my family. Went to a rugby game. My brother-in-law plays for the Los Angeles Guiltinis, and so went to go enjoy the Major League Rugby game in LA, which was pretty cool. Rugby is growing, you know what I mean, and so very happy for that. A little bit. All right, just had to check to make sure that was good. But yeah, um, yeah, it was kind of an annoying time with Easter, but I did have some time with family. Got together with some family, got together with some church family, and enjoyed ourselves. You know, and it's kind of difficult when you know truth and um, you see people doing stuff that doesn't really. It's not really from the Bible, you know what I mean? It's not even in there, so, but it's kind of frustrating. Um, but at the same time, you just take it for what it is and use that time to spend time with family and enjoy people's company. So it is what it is. So, um, feeling good. Have a lot of changes going on, a lot of new things I'm looking forward to, and I'm just excited for it all. I just gotta stay excited. That's it. That's it. Just gotta have a good attitude. Roll with the punches, man. It's not about what happens to you; it's about how you respond. Thank you, honey, for reminding me that. Shout out to my wife, who's always the most positive person in the world. It's so positive. It's annoying sometimes, but she keeps me grounded, man. She keeps me from losing my temper, and so it's a beautiful thing. Today, guys, it's been a while since I uploaded a video because there's a subject that I wanted to cover, and it took a while to gather information from it because it's a video game I want to review. Today we're going to be reviewing the Spider-Man game. I've been talking about it for months now, and I think I have enough footage to cover um, some of the crazy things that I see in this game. We know as truthers that the lies are in the news and the truth is in the movies. Which, by the way, we saw Interstellar yesterday, my wife and I, and oh man, pretty crazy, crazy stuff. A lot to break down there. I want to break down the Eternals. I want to break that movie down and explain some of the things that I saw there. I'm pretty sure other people have, but then again, I'm just gonna do what I see. I haven't even checked out what anybody else's videos on this subject. Spider-Man PS4. This was a game that was released 2018, which means that it was under development for 2017, 2016, and possibly 2015. But with the release date of 2018 raises a lot of questions. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of people who don't agree with the things that we do here as truthers. There's a lot of people that don't agree with some of the ideas that we have, some of the belief systems, and the things that we believe. And there's a lot of people that are struggling to see me enter into this realm of truth and becoming a truther and just questioning things. I don't even know if truther is the right phrase or the right word for it, for what I am. Pretty much, I'm just a person who's questioning things. I'm after truth. I want to know the truth. I want to know what's going on. I'm tired of being lied to. I'm tired of seeing people being lied to. And this is a subject, looking at the whole event, the whole global event that happened starting a couple of years ago, that caused a lot of people to lose work and caused a lot of people to lose their businesses. Which, by the way, it was kind of sad. We went to Redondo Beach with my brother-in-law, and it was beautiful, 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 beautiful. Redondo Beach is awesome. If you're in California, Um, and the sad thing though, as a business owner, yeah, we were able to enjoy the beach. We were able to enjoy the pier, the sand, and all the restaurants. We ate there on the pier, and we didn't do any fishing, but we were able to just walk the pier with the kids, and the kids were just excited to see other people fishing and everything. But there's some beautiful restaurants there that are shut down, and what happened, man. They just didn't make it past these past couple of years. They didn't survive, and one of them, I was looking through the windows, just checking it out and looking at all the features of the restaurants that are all shut down. It's like a ghost town up there on that pier. One of the restaurants actually was something I dreamed about. Perfect setting, exactly how I dreamed about. So that was pretty cool. But it was pretty sad. Even as a business owner, my heart goes out to small business owners who didn't survive. And this is why the events of the past 2 years um, really did affect me because if anybody knew who I was before this whole situation went down, I was all about my business. I was all about business. I was all about, I'm in finances and personal finances, investments. I'm in insurance, teaching families how to make and save more money. I went by the moniker of Big Money. That was my nickname in the industry. And I was building up my websites and all this stuff, and building up my business, training people in multiple states. And it was growing. It was growing. It really was. 2019 was one of my best years, also one of my worst years. Because I lost my father, and it was really devastating. But business wise, everything was good. Everything was up on the up and up. And man, um, business was good, and that was just me. I was all about making that dollar, man, making that paper. But things changed when uh, this global event happened. Why? Because there were some people who I look up to as mentors and coaches and very good friends. People who I even said um, in front of a training one time. I said, "Look, man, if anybody ever came in here and shot at you, I'd take a bullet for you." What I mean? That was how invested I was into my business. And these are people who I look up to because, I mean, they had the goods when it comes to running a business. They knew what they were doing. They knew exactly how to run it, what to say, how to train people, how to get me to train people, how to get people who I've trained to continue the cycle so that I can, start collecting that passive income. Um, and these are people who are all about faith. And one of the things I loved about this business is it's all about faith. They have a model: God, family, business. You got to keep things in that order, or your business will not survive. And I love that because growing up being a Christian and all, I wanted to hear about a business that makes money, that makes good money, and of course teaches people to honor God before all else. And turns out that some of my leaders who I respected and loved for such a long time, they talk about being strong, they talk about being faithful, and just trusting in the Lord through the process. All these things that they've taught me. But when a so-called disease comes in and gets people to pin up against other people and people to fret when people were afraid to touch each other, they were afraid to be in contact with each other, they were afraid to be in the same room, somebody coughed and they were pretty much sentenced to death. I mean, it was just ridiculousness. And I've seen the same people who talked about faith for such a long time. And this is, these are people in my business, these are people in my church, people who I respected as individuals in my life, uh my, what do you call that, and within my circle of friends, people who talked about faith and talked a really good game. But then when it came down to it and the fear set in and the news started pushing that narrative and started pushing fear, I seen the same people who talked about being strong in faith, I saw them fail, and they failed hard. And I understand, there's things that you do. You make mistakes. People make mistakes, and I'm one of those people who believe in failing forward. Um, but you don't get so scared about something, that you make other people feel uncomfortable for not being scared. You understand? Like, you don't. If you're afraid of something and it bothers you so much, like, don't push that fear onto me. You know what I'm saying? If I'm living my life, I'm still good. I'm running straight. I'm running strong. And you get scared of something, you get worried about something, let that be for you. Don't push that on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get mad at me if I'm not afraid with you. If you understand what I'm saying. Pretty much, I stood on fear the whole time. And yes, it was scary at times. There were times where LA, where now we're here in Los Angeles, when LA put out an Amber Alert, just right out of nowhere in the Sunday afternoon. Amber Alert comes out on the phone saying emergency, mandatory, what do you call it, curfew. 6 o'clock. Everybody needs to be in home, and we were already out on the road. In fact, we were headed to the office because we needed to go to the office, which is about a 35-minute drive from here, and the roads were empty. Like 6 o'clock in the afternoon, Sunday, the sun was still out, and the road, it was a ghost town. Because of this Amber Alert. And my wife was like, what do we do? Do we stay home? I'm like, hell no, we got to go to the office. So we went, and the roads were completely empty, and I was disgusted. I was just disgusted. Like, people were that scared. You know what I mean? And even people who I looked up to as being very strong individuals, people who I looked up to, I said, man, they're freaking awesome. They got it going. They're that yin yang couple. They got it all. I want to be just like them. And I saw them cower in fear, and it irritated me. It pissed me off because I looked up to them for such a long time. So this is why I'm gonna cover the subject today, because I was there to tell people, like, hey, don't pay attention to all the hype. Don't be looking at, listening to these people talk about these statistics, and don't get near them, and you got to cover up, and there's all these things, right? And so, I started learning more about propaganda, and we learned, as truthers, that there's truth in the movies, right? But I wanted to share something today because I grew up with I played video games growing up, and then I became an adult and started a family, and I stopped playing video games for such a long time. I went from PS2, and it didn't get a PS3 till what, 2018. That shows you how long I didn't play for video games for. And so I started catching up, just playing old PS3 games, and then barely last year got a PS4. And like, I got kids now who want to play online with their friends and stuff. I homeschool kids, so they get to play Roblox and Minecraft with their kids online. So I figured, we need to get a little bit more updated on the video game system so they can play along with their friends. And so I got them a PS4, and of course, Dad's on the PS4. You know what I'm saying? But um, I was thinking about if you're a gamer, you understand. Sometimes you just get in the mood to play a certain type of game, and I got Spider-Man because I was like, man, I remember how fun it was just to swing around the city of New York, as Spider-Man. You're not doing any missions or anything, just swinging around freely. It was just so much fun and a good time. It's a good way to waste time. It's just pretending you're freaking Spider-Man. So I got that game. I was like, all right, let's see what the latest Spider-Man game is. Got Spider-Man PS4. Didn't know nothing about it. Just plugged it in and started playing it. Turns out this Spider-Man game shared a lot of information about what 2020 was going to look like. And they're pretty spot on, And so here I am playing this game just a couple months ago. Got this game, downloaded it, and started playing. I was like, what the hell? Like, what year did this come out? It was 2018. So 2018, this game comes out. And apparently, whoever wrote the script of this game, um, that guy could have played the lottery or something, man. That guy was spot on with some of the things that have been going on the past couple of years. And so I started looking into it, and I played the game through, and I didn't even know. This is how much I don't know about video games. I didn't know you could screen record or even go live on your game while you're playing and go on YouTube and stuff like that. I missed out. So I played the whole game through, and I was like, oh snap, I can record and go live. So I had to play the game again. And I got some actually I got some video. I was able to put it on my YouTube channel privately so I can get some screenshots away from it. I'm not going to play the videos because I'm already going to get a copy strike about it. I already did. And so I'm just going to play a couple. I'm going to show you some screenshots, and I'll just explain to you what's going on in the scene here. And so Spider-Man, this game is about, first of all, the game is awesome. It's a pretty fun game. It's about Dr. Octavius and a bunch of other villains. They team up, and what happens is uh, there's something that was developed by these rich folks, a disease called devil's breath, right? So devil's breath is pretty much this disease. It's kind of like the flu. It's very contagious, and it's so contagious that they had to shut down the city. So devil's breath, right, is the name of, I don't know how to signal to you what I'm really trying to say, what it really is. But it's called devil's breath on this game. Anyways, it was a disease that was created in a lab by the rich folks, by Dr. Osborn. Not, I don't know if he's a doctor, but by Osborn, who is the not the Green Goblin, but the Hobgoblin, right? One of the villains. And in this game, he's the mayor of the city of New York. So rich guy has a lab, has secret labs going on, and does it sound familiar? And they're developing something called Devil's Breath, and nobody knows what it is until the villains finally get a hold of it and release it over the city. Not only that, but they also release all the prisoners, and they lock down the city, and so people are being quarantined into their homes. Does it sound familiar? And these prisoners start going crazy on the streets. They get a hold of all the weapons. They start taking over the police, and the mayor hires. They hire. Here's more. And if you're a truther, you go crazy playing this game. You're like, oh my gosh, this is what this symbolizes. This is what that symbolizes. So the mayor decides that the police are not enough to enforce the law here in this city now, this quarantining city, because they gotta have people follow the protocols. They have to have mandates put in. They have to get people to, to signing up for treatment. And there's a shortage of food. There's a shortage of medicine. They have camps set up throughout the city. One kind of camp is for shelter. Another kind of camp is for getting food rations. All right, another kind of camp is set up for getting medicine rations, and there's another kind of camp, and the other kind of camp is for those people who do not comply. Right, and so here is in this picture. This is a picture of prisoners who were released during this quarantine time, and they went and they crashed into an armored vehicle of the police department, and they're trying to break into it to get more weapons. You see, they're already armed up. They got bulletproof vests, some riot gear, and they got some semi-automatics. Right, and so pretty crazy, right? All right, let me see. All right, I'm trying to organize this a little bit, and hopefully, okay, there we go. How do I get to the next picture? Dang it. All right, I'm working pretty much on the fly here, so bear with me, guys. Let me pull it up again. Yeah, so this is pretty accurate to things that we were worried about. Also, things that have already happened in other countries. If you follow along, then you understand what I'm saying, right? So, okay, there you go. All right, share screen, share window, and this one. There we go. All right, next picture. Here's Spider-Man fighting off one of these guys. This agent right here in the middle. This is called a Sable agent in the video game. Sable agent, led by Silver Sable, and what they are is they are a type of military police. I wouldn't say not police. They're military. They're militant, but they're not military. These are pretty much enforcers that were hired by the mayor to come and help the police because the police were not they were not enough to handle taking care of the mandates as well as handling people quarantining and people trying to escape from the quarantine, people that were violating their mask mandates. And so these guys were brought in to help enforce, and they came in with all the tech, they had all the technology, all the new weapons, all the new tools to secure people that didn't comply. And here's Spider-Man fighting with one of them. He straight throws a grenade at Spider-Man. Like, come on, you're a bad guy. You're a bad guy. If you're throwing a grenade at Spider-Man, you're a bad dude. All right, so here's two guys in the alley or in the back of this store or office or something. Look at that. Mask mandates in force. Even Spider Man's got a paper bag over his head. No, I'm just saying. I chose that costume. I don't know why. Here's another guy. He's got a mask on and he's coughing, right? Looking down, coughing away from his buddy. And so the captions, this is a Sable agent who's close by. And the captions come up, even though he's not on the screen here, but he's like right around on the other side of this wall. Spider-Man's fighting him, and he kind of ran around the wall right here. And the Sable agent says, "It's a bad time to protest. Martial law has made public gatherings illegal." All right. Again, this is a video game from 2018, guys. 2018, which means that the writing process started back in 2015. Right? And all the development, 2016 and 17, all the artwork and all that stuff, the graphics. Think about that, guys. All right. Gatherings are made illegal. Martial law has been made public. Gatherings illegal. Bad time to protest. As a person who used to protest a lot, I respect the right to protest and those who exercise that right. And for somebody to say that's a bad time, that we have martial law, you can't even do that. Um, that sucks. Okay, so here's Spider-Man swinging through. He's on his way to a mission, and this white barricade is here. These barricades are all over the city now. They're actually digital. There's like a screen here. It's clear right now, but it turns blue when everything's cool. Whenever there's no problem or anything, but if there's an attack or an outbreak or if someone's being defiant, all these things turn red and the signs pop up saying alert. And here's a guard tower. This is a guard tower. They're all over the city. They're mobile, and pretty much somebody up there all the time on this little perch, overseeing operations because they shut down every bridge to the city. They start shutting down major intersections, and you'll see some pictures later where they have even documents that they require. So here's one of the bridges that are shut down, barricades all over the place. There's guards behind all the barricades to keep people from going in and out of the city, right? And here's more people. Uh, Again, covered up, right? Covered up here. There's even a scene where Peter Parker, um, is sickening, but there's even a scene where Peter Parker is talking to a young Miles Morales, who is the new um, Spider-Man. I guess I haven't watched any of the new Spider-Man movies, but he's supposed to be the next Spider-Man, the Black Spider-Man, because um, that's part of, I don't know, the storyline. Anyways, he's training up Miles, and Miles works with him in this story. Peter Parker is no longer a photographer. He's a scientist that works with Dr. Octavius, and his Aunt May runs a homeless shelter called Feast, and the A is a pyramid. Um, and Miles Morales, after his dad died, Peter helped him to get a job here with the homeless shelter to help get his mind off of things and so that he can be, become useful and just stay busy, while he's mourning his dad. And there's a time where Miles has to run to get medicine. I'll show you a picture of that. He has to run to get medicine, and he calls Spider Man. And Spider Man's like, "Hey, are you okay on the road?" Because he's walking, and there's all kinds of prisoners out there shooting people, and he's like, "Are you gonna be okay?" And he was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Okay, make sure um, cover it, wear a mask and gloves." Like, this is Spider Man telling the other Spider Man, "Wear your mask and gloves. Be safe because there's supposed disease." All right, so here's people covered up. This lady's over here; she's laughing at the floor. We got people over here staying warm. Now you got somebody. See, not everybody has a mask. These homeless guys, they don't wear masks. They don't care. But the other civilians, who have to have a job, they're covered up. You know, it's pretty crazy. Let's see what else happens. Just another picture, just so you can see I'm not lying. That's a mask on his face. Again, these are video games that our kids are playing back in 2018. Again, which was already pre-thought out from 2015 on up, and this is just to get the kids ready. Get the kids ready for the end of 2019 when that craziness happened. Here's more people across the street with the mask. Everybody's got a mask. You get the point. Let's see. What do we got next? Here's another guy sick. More people with masks. All indoctrination. Here's people talking on the sidewalk, and then one person says to you, "Oh, actually, this is a Sable agent nearby, saying, 'You think you're in a movie? Shut up before I gag you.'" I thought that was funny. Yeah, because we truthers, we know. We truth seekers, we questioners, we whatever you want to call it, conspiracy theorists who question everything. Um, we know that the truth is in the movies. You know what I'm saying? So here's the Sable agent. Again, he's pretty much a FEMA agent. And he's saying, "You think you're in a movie? Shut up before I gag you." All right. Again, more people. As you walk down the street, people are just coughing all over the place and falling over because it's that bad. Here's a picture of him on one of the rooftops just checking out the city. As you can see, everything's burning and dying. The city's falling apart, right? Because there's criminals everywhere. People are looting and burning. Like that Bob Marley song. Burning and a looting tonight. And here is more Sable agents with one of their vehicles. The vehicle's got straight rockets on the top, and they say flat out that if they don't know who you are and you come close to the car, they will shoot you on sight without warning. Here is a group of Sable agents, all weapons drawn. They're ready to take out Spider Man. I mean, these guys don't care. If you're going to violate their violation, they will shoot you. Here's Spider-Man taking on disabled agents, and Spider-Man says, "Sure, I won't fight, but he says, sure, I win the fight, but what did it say? I bet they get all the medical benefits. So, working for the evil government, you get the benefits. We don't." Spider-Man just laying down some truth right there. Like, I'm gonna win the fight, but it looks like you're gonna get all the medical benefits. This is right here. Okay, this right here is one of the camps I was talking about. These are the camps that were set up for people that do not comply, for people that protest, for people that didn't want to get they call it the antidote, and no, they call it an antigen in this game. The antigen. All right. So remember that word. Antigen stands for um, the Jabarooski. Let's say that. Antigen stands for the Jabarooski. So this right here is a camp, sort of like a FEMA camp, and it's set up not to protect people, not to house weapons, not to uh, house the soldiers that came in, right, or whatever the real name for them are. Um, this is a camp that's set up to imprison people. There's a prison right here, right? This is a holding cell, right? And they say, it's not arrested. You're just being detained, right? This is a holding cell for people who do not comply. Here's Spider-Man just getting a closer look at the people walking around the cell with their masks on, sitting there wondering how they're going to get out of here and if this is even right. So here's Spider-Man freeing them. He breaks them out, right? And then he gets all the bad guys. He wraps them up and hangs them up from something, light post. And he calls this right here, this cop, Yuri Watanabe. And he says, "Yuri, I got everybody." And she said, "Officially, I can't condone this, but unofficially, thank you." So she has a heart, she's a good person. It's just, her job requires her to perform medical tyranny, in violation of civil rights. So she said, unofficially, I can't condone it, but unofficially, thank you. Here's Spider-Man taking off from the campsite, the lockdown site. This is another look to it. Here's him walking down the street. There's a Sable agent nearby. If you don't know, Spider-Man, his suit can pick up radio transmissions from disabled agents and police officers nearby. And here's the disabled agent nearby saying, "Traffic control established." All right, traffic control. All right, established. I will cover that right now. Checking all suspicious persons. These are not criminals. These are only people who did not get their Jabrowski. Here's one of the cutscenes. I cannot show you because this footage belongs to some company out there, some kind of media company, which I understand. Here's Norman. He is the guy with the orange hair, the Hobgoblin, father of the Green Goblin. I might have that backwards. And they come over here and they shut down Dr. Octavius's office laboratory, and he was trying to make robotic arms, and so he tells this subject right here who's practicing with these prosthetics, and he says, "These folks will escort you to Oscorp Robotics." He says, "Where you'll receive the latest in prosthetics, no charge." So here's the government offering us robotic parts for those of us who need robotic parts, and saying that you get these latest of prosthetics, no charge, all free. Don't worry about it. Right. So this right here, this is transhumanism, another part of the agenda. Right. We'll make you a robotic arm. Don't worry about it. Free of charge. It's all good. Right. Here's Spider-Man looking down at another camp. This is the big camp. I think I fought here for like 15 minutes. Just more scenes of him. These camps are all over the city, already ready to go. Look at them. Look how accurate it is, how precise everything is placed. It's almost like they knew they were going to be there. Oh, there's interesting dialogue I get from these characters as he goes by. Here's Spider-Man saying, "Captain, these Sable 8 guys look like they forced all the residents out of a building so that they could occupy it themselves." So look at These people come in acting like they're here to do a job with a disease, right? But they don't care about the people. They kick the people out of an apartment building so they can occupy it themselves. And then they locked up the ones who objected as they put a prison camp right there on the bottom floor. And then the disabled agent was saying, I can't sleep worth a damn on those cots that we were issued. Right. So let's kick all the people out of the apartment building and we'll lock them up if they oppose. You know, who cares if they have kids? Not saying that that's what the female's going to do, but it's pretty crazy. Anyway, Sable Agent right here says everyone's a constitutional lawyer. So pretty much they kick people out of their apartment. They took over the apartment, and then if anybody opposed, they put them in prison. And so here's this Sable Agent. He's on duty. He's on the roof as a sniper, and he's looking down at the cam, making sure there's nobody intruding. And he says everyone's a constitutional lawyer, right? So complaining about people who are complaining about their civil rights being violated. And so and another agent says, copy that, and no rations for any of them. That's messed up. I don't know if they're talking about rationing food or medicine, but he says no rations for them. How evil is that? For you to give rations out to someone means that they are in need and they're trusting in you, and that's all they have, and you're just gonna say no rations for them, right? Because they don't comply. They don't want to listen to you because you're an oppressor, right? And so here's this is another part of the camp. Oh, I just thought that was interesting. It looks like the firmament there, and it looks like 1, 2, 3, maybe the three heavens. Who knows? I mean, unless there really is seven heavens, and then there's some weird people down there below. I thought that was weird. Anyway, I got to do a video on just the graffiti that you find here in the Spider-Man game. Here's another scene. Just more pictures of him doing this thing. He pretty much plucks off every guard here in the center, and then he frees the humans. Oh yeah, the humans that are locked up in the holding cells, being detained. There's a picture. So pretty much with this disease, the like the CV19er, this is Devil's Breath, and Aunt May gets sick. Aunt May, Peter Parker's auntie, gets sick, and so here's Aunt May saying he's off picking up medical because Peter Pan. Peter Parker is asking, "Where's Miles Morales?" And Aunt May says he's off picking up some medical supplies from the relief center. So there's a relief center. That's the other camp that has medicine in it. And then she says here, because this is the feast center, this is the homeless shelter, and when the pandemic hit, people started filling up the homeless shelters. Everybody was coming in wanting treatment, wanting to be safe. They were sick, they were dying. So she's over here doing her job to support the homeless people. They have a big facility with a gym, locker rooms, classrooms, kitchens, meeting rooms. So they got all kinds of stuff here. That's a beautiful thing. It's actually a kind of a business that I want to open up myself, kind of facility I want to build myself once the money gets right. Anyway, Aunt May says it's amazing how quickly we go through antibiotics. So for those of you who stock and save, or you guys are doing well, I'm pretty sure. But those of you who aren't, stock up on some medicine, stock up on some food. And here's Miles Morales. He has to go sneak over to the relief center, and they're already run over by prisoners, and so he has to go and steal medicine from these guys. All right. So here's another picture of another lockdown intersection. Spider-Man comes to visit. Here's the Sable agents that are portraying. I don't know, maybe FEMA agents, maybe other kinds of agents, maybe FBI, CIA, I don't know. But anyways, they got these intersections locked down. You see the cones that are set up, and the traffic has to come through these intersections. And look at the sign here: have documents ready. I wonder what kind of documents they need. You and I know. Anyways, Spider-Man comes in, saves the day, beats them up, takes away the weapons. Those signs turn to alert signs. Alert, alert. Somebody's fighting. Somebody's not complying. Here is a scene from Mary Jane, Spider-Man's girlfriend. Well, not girlfriend. In this movie, their ex-girlfriend, boyfriend. Anyway, she's here at an apartment building, one of the big giant ones downtown New York, and this is one where Osborn, the bad guy villain, who's also a mayor now, lives on the penthouse in the penthouse apartment. So this is what happens: the Sable agents locked all the residents out of this apartment building. Mary Jane comes in. She says, "What's going on?" She says, "We're all locked out by the Sable agents." And it says here, "Resident, they're checking for weapons and explosives or something." Right? And he said, "All this just to make Osborne feel safer." Right? And so she Mary Jane starts going around talking to people. These are all people that live here in these apartments. They didn't know that the mayor lives upstairs. And so here's one resident. She says, "Ugh, every second we stay down here, we risk getting that plague, catching that plague." Right? So again, more fear porn, just teaching the kids to be scared. Once there's a disease that comes around, don't be around other people or you're going to catch it. Right? And then here's Mary Jane. "Definitely stay away from the receptionist. Been coughing up a storm." Isn't that what people were saying when this whole thing went down and people were looking at you weird when you call for a sneeze? That sucks. And then this lady's complaining. She's like, "What? They have to let us back upstairs." So they go start complaining to the guard who's blocking the door. Here's another resident saying, "You can't treat us like animals." Right? So if they're pretty much put in the lobby of their own hotel, they can't even go up to their own apartments because of reasons. Another resident, "If I get sick, I'll sue you into the ground." I thought that was really funny. Let us upstairs before we all catch the diseases. Sorry, I did not yawn right there. Let us upstairs before we catch all the disease. Before we all catch the disease. It's funny how they know it's devil's breath, but they're not going to say devil's breath because it has to be relative to what's really going on. Another resident saying, "Why isn't Osborne down here? This sort of thing never happens to him." Exactly. The rich people don't get sick. Um, MJ, the mayor and his friends are exempt. How about that? How about that, guys? The mayor and his friends are exempt. Security let one of his biggest donors back upstairs right away. Wow. Special privileges. Right? The resident says, "I knew it. It's all one big boy. It's all one big boys club. Come on." So she gets mad, starts storming over to the security guard, and MJ follows. Right, her plan is to get him distracted so she can run in. And one resident says, "He's got some fancy new system called installed in the back security room. No sweeps needed," they say. I wonder what that means. Plus, he is the mayor. Here's the security guard. Doing an extra good job. The security guard's way over here, and there's nobody near him, and he's like over there saying, "Stay back, ma'am. Off limits, ma'am," is what he said. Security, everyone, please stay calm. Sable International has nearly finished their sweep. Okay. Everybody's down in the lobby. They're pissed off at the security guard for holding everybody out while Sable is doing their sweep. Here comes security. "I know this is frustrating, but please remember, Sable is doing this for your safety." Yeah. So that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna make you mask up for your safety. They're gonna make you stay away from each other for your safety. Quarantine for your safety. Don't go to church for your safety. Don't go take your kids to school for your safety. And so here's the rich guy, Osborne. He is the mayor of the city of New York, and he's telling his new hired muscle, saying, "You stay here." And he says, "The anti serum is ready. The anti serum is ready, and I'm going to supervise its production." He's all about making money on the new antidote for this big old disease. So you see what the plan was: to create this big disease, unleash it throughout the city, cause panic and rage, shut down the city, and then create an antigen, and then produce it and sell it. Big, big pharma, right? And then MJ, or not MJ, Aunt May gets sick. And then this is MJ saying to Spider-Man, they say she could go at any moment. So Spider-Man needs to go find the bad guy and beat him so he can get the antigen, the vaccination for this devil's breath disease. And so he says, I can't beat him. And she says, I need to find Otto and get the anti serum. Right? Here's another camp. Here's him beating up the camp. And Spider Man says, look like some people were protesting the Sable base, and the agents responded by locking them up. Wow. Here's another agent. While Spider Man's sneaking around, says the agent said, you think we could get sued for civil rights violations? He's asking another guard. And the guard says, nope. Do you think we can get sued for civil rights violations? Sorry, it's 3:40 in the morning. And then um, this right here, the Sable agent says, we've got some Karian residency. What are they going to do? Extradite us because we locked up some hippies? So I looked up some Karian and pretty crazy stuff. I did not know. And I'm a freaking comic book nerd. So I look up some Karia and it pops up here under the Transformers wiki page. Simcaria. Simcaria is a Eastern European country, right? So it pretty much is a country in Eastern Europe. It's a fictional country, and it's led by Silver Sable, the people that live there. And check this out: they were deceived by the Decepticons. And I said, the Decepticons, like Transformers, and I looked it up. Transformers. I said, well, this is a Marvel game that I'm playing. I did not know that Transformers was a part of Marvel, or at least they were for one time where I made an appearance. I think that's pretty cool. As a nerd, I kind of popped for that. So yeah, I looked it up. Marvel Universe, um, X Men's Dazzler, Spider Man, Joe Robertson, and Nick Fury. Dum Dum Dugan of Shield making appearances early as the number 3 issue in the Savage Land. So yeah, Transformers were there along with Marvel characters. That is freaking cool. If you're old school, you might know. But for most of us, we didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's awesome. All right, so back to Spider-Man sneaking around, listening to the guards speak. He says there's civil rights, there's civil lawsuits too, and he says that's why we don't have badge numbers or badges. So you see, they're just hired help. Sable agent says surrender or die. When if they're here for our safety, why would they say surrender or die? Surrender or die. That's what I want to hear from the safety police. Here's another barricade. Here's more agents on the rooftops, just watching everybody with their binoculars. Here's another roadblock right here. They blocked off this vehicle. Um, Again, with this sign right here, and guards here to monitor everything. They're watching everybody. They slow down traffic so that they can come and check your documents. How about that? You can, I know right now you can't fly an airplane without your cover ups and your chemical concoctions, and then you can't get on a train, you can't travel state to state. So they're starting to lift some of that stuff, but now you can't even drive to the city without documents. Having documents ready. How do you think you get your documents? And why do they need this military police to come and verify that? Because it's too big of a job for the police to handle themselves. So look at all these people. They got to drive through this intersection to go to work or to go to the store or go home, and they need to show their documents, proof of vaccinations. Here's a big camp that was set up right there in Times Square. Sorry for all the noise. And look at that. They shut down all the billboards and they have keep your something. I should have wrote down what these things were saying, but here's Jameson saying there's someone else who is okay. But yeah, they shut down all New York Times Square. Here's Jameson saying, my Mayor Osborne experimenting on something as deadly as devil's breath in the very heart of the city of Manhattan. They did it right here in the city. Jameson, the height of irresponsibility. What did Osborne know, and when did he know it? The answer could mean the difference between electoral defeat, impeachment, and prison. Here's more signs in New York Times squares. Instead of the advertisements, now it says stay home, stay safe. Stay home, stay safe. Stay home, stay safe. These messages were all over the game. 2018, you guys, this game was released, which means they've been talking about it since 2015, right? Before everything happened in 2020. More signs. And here there's a big a guy on a megaphone speaking, and here's the things that he was saying. Okay, check this out. Wrong document. Here, here during this scene, there's a guy on a megaphone. He's just screaming out commands to people to be careful. And here's some of the things that he was saying. Right? He says over the intercom, exercise caution with those you don't know. Public transportation within the island is operational. However, public transportation um, destined outside of the island will remain inoperable until the end of the quarantine. Rewards are available for those who turn in any information on Spider-Man and other criminals. Do not force yourself through any barricades. Guards will fire upon you all unknown vehicles without warning. That's not something that you want to say to the public. Here's them hiding medicine. They were close to the end here, and that is it. So yeah, guys, a lot of propaganda in that Spider-Man game, a lot of fake stuff, going on, a lot of predictions on things that are happening in the Spider-Man game that was released in 2018. The situation that we went through 2019, 2020. What's up, Eager Television? We got Eager up in the house. What's up, my brother? Just breaking down the Spider-Man game of 2018, how it shows lockdown procedures, mask mandates, how it showed a big, a man-made disease that was created in a lab by some rich folks just so they can release the antigen, which is another word for, uh, the Jabberooski, antidotes. And so all of this was predicted in the Spider-Man game. There's a lot more I want to cover when it comes to the game. It's just I could not fit all that information, as I'm already going in 1 hour just on some of these screenshots. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's in the game that lets you know that the situation that we face in real life was predicted, and it was according to a script. It was all scripted. This is like WWE. This is just like WWE. And so, I just wanted to share that stuff, to put it out there, because there's a lot of people that didn't believe when I was saying that this stuff is not what they talk about in the news. It's not how the professors and the doctors on TV are saying it is. It isn't. This is all thought up before. This is all a big play they're putting on, big portrayal. You know, it's just fake information and forcing people and violating their rights. And I'm letting you know this now because, well, truth be told, I believe that it's coming again. It's sad, but it's coming again, and it's going to be worse. That was kind of a test run. So I just wanted to make this video because mainly my Facebook following is not aware of a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about here, and maybe they have heard it. It's just they don't see enough proof to believe in it. But I brought forward some evidence just through one video game. I'm already seeing some evidence on another video game, so I can cover that too. But yeah, just wanted to share a little bit. I might bring another um, video to share more uh, truth and more evidence from this one video game, which again was the number one Spider-Man game for such a long time. Since its release, everybody says that they can't get enough of that video game of Spider-Man. So that just shows you how big of a tool of indoctrination and propaganda, and misinformation. These guys were preparing your children so that when they see it happen in real life, they already know what to do. Why? They saw Spider-Man do it. They saw Spider-Man tell Miles Morales, the new Spider-Man, "Hey, make sure you wear your mask and your gloves. Okay, be careful out there." Rushing to get an antidote for his auntie, so that his auntie doesn't die, and of course, she dies from the disease. She ends up dying from the disease. So, what does that tell you? That just lets you know that they're preparing the kids so that when a disease that looks like this comes along, they already know what to do. Roll up their sleeves and accept the treatment, you know. But we that are awake, we make these videos so that other people can start to see that, we're not just coming up with stuff and putting pieces together and coming up with theories out of our asses. This is real stuff. This is real stuff that people do, you know. And so, what's up, Eager? Said hello, bro. I couldn't sleep. Now I want to go play Spider. Hey, man, go check it out. A lot of Tartaria. There's some starports they got in the game. They got some graffiti, showing a lot of symbolism. There's all kinds. That game is packed with symbolism. And packed with symbolism. Appreciate that, brother. Eager Television said, great video. Thank you so much, man. Spent some time getting some of these screenshots together. I was man, just went on a whim and just decided to just let it go. Shoot, that means we're live, man. I don't even know how this is. I thought I was supposed to schedule this for 8 o'clock. I just realized that. Anyways, all good. But yeah, what the basic thing that we're pretty much what we're getting to here is that pay attention to the television, not the television. Pay attention to movies. Pay attention to video games, because there is a target. That is the new generation. We're trying. They're not. We are. They are trying to teach your children how to think and how to respond, how to react, so that when this happens in their real life, um, it just be easy to control folks. Just like how we're seeing right now. Just like how we're seeing right now, we got people lining up to go and get that chemical concoction because why? Because they watch TV, because they play video games, because they've been taught this stuff, right? Their heroes are doing it. Their favorite actors are on TikTok doing it, and so that's why people do the dumb things that they do, because that's the norm. That's what they've seen. And so they've been conditioned to do that. Check out my last video about conditioning and the racehorse. I put some good stuff out there. But anyway, that's it for me. It's 3:52 a.m. and I got to do some homeschooling tomorrow. So I'm going to close it out right here. And anyways, just want to say, focus on the right things. Not everything that comes through your television screen is the truth. Uh, Ask God for discernment. He'll give you wisdom, and you'll figure it out. You'll know the truth. All right. Beware of the enemy's devices. May you be blessed. Take care, y'all. Have a great one. Eager Television, thanks for stopping by, man. Take care, brother. Good to see you again. All right. Peace, y'all.